Your fridge is a graveyard. Half-used parsley, wilted cilantro, another plastic clamshell headed for the trash on Sunday. Then October arrives, the garden goes quiet, and you pay for the same herbs all winter. You blame yourself. Bad timing, no green thumb. It is not you. It is a calendar problem. Most gardening advice treats spring planting and winter cooking as separate problems. July is where they connect. Plant these 7 herbs now, then keep harvesting. Dry them, freeze them, or bring them indoors to carry your kitchen from October through March. One is the herb apartment gardeners kill first on the windowsill. The fix is not more light or water. It is one cold step almost every guide skips. Drop your state or zone below. It changes which of these herbs stay outside and which need to come in. Number 1. Cilantro, the slow bolt cultivar that actually survives a fall harvest. Every cilantro guide tells you to plant in spring. That is why yours bolted in 6 weeks. And you spent the rest of summer buying clamshells every Sunday taco night. July flips the whole thing. Here is what the seed packet does not tell you. Cilantro bolts because of 2 things at once: soil above 75 degrees Fahrenheit and days longer than 14 hours. Both peak at the same time in early summer. Cilantro reads 2 signals. Long days say summer. Warm soil says summer. When both fire together, the plant stops making leaves and starts making seeds. That is bolting. Plant in April, both hit peak by June, and the plant panics. Plant in July, and something different happens. Your seedlings come up as days are already shortening. Soil cools through September. The plant reads the opposite signal and keeps pushing leaves instead of flowers. In plain English, spring cilantro is fighting biology. Fall cilantro is running with it. After 6 cilantro cultivars in the same raised bed, Calypso was the only one that held through July into September. Johnny's selected seeds ran trials and clocked it at 3 weeks slower than Santo. If Calypso is sold out, Santo is your backup. So here is your July move. Direct sow 1/4 inch deep in a pot at least 8 inches deep, or in a bed. Sow thick, no thinning. First harvest in about 50 days. Sow another round every 2 weeks through August. For winter, freeze it. Do not dry it. Drying kills the flavor completely. Chop fine, pack into a silicone ice cube tray, cover with olive oil, freeze overnight, pop the cubes into a bag. 6 months of flavor cubes to drop straight into salsa, curry, or soup. Summer cilantro is a fight you lose. Fall cilantro plants itself into your kitchen for 6 months. Number 2. Parsley, the hardy biennial nobody treats like one. Parsley is the herb almost every gardener wastes. Not because they kill it, because they treat it like an annual and yank it out in October, right before it does the thing it was designed to do. You yank your parsley in early October to make room for garlic. 2 months later, you are back at the store buying clamshells, while your compost pile is quietly cooking down the plant that would have fed you until Easter. The piece nobody puts together is this. Parsley is a hardy biennial. Plant it in July, harvest through fall and winter, then get a second harvest in spring before it bolts. A biennial does not flower in its first year. It grows leaves, banks energy in a taproot, and waits. Winter cold is the trigger it needs to flower the next spring, which means all winter, the plant is storing up while you are cutting leaves. Every leaf you take is free rent. Cash that out. 1 seed packet, a couple of bucks. 1 store bunch, about the same. Pay once, harvest for 2 years. You will not find this on the seed packet. Every catalog says annual, but parsley is a biennial. 2 varieties matter. Flat leaf Italian for cooking flavor, curly for cold hardy winter harvest in zone 6 or warmer with a little mulch. The setup takes 10 minutes. Direct sow 1/4 inch deep, or start indoors and transplant. But be patient, because germination takes 2 to 3 weeks. Space 8 to 10 inches apart. In containers, use a deep pot, at least 10 inches, so the taproot has room. 2 paths for winter. Freeze whole leaves log rolled in a freezer bag. Snap chunks off as you cook, about 6 months. Or in October, dig one whole plant with the full taproot, pot it in a 10-inch container by a south-facing window. Harvest fresh through winter. Fair warning, this has one condition. In Zone 5 or colder, parsley outside will die back by December. Bring one plant to the windowsill, mulch the rest heavy, wait for the spring flush. 1 planting, 2 harvests, both for the price of a coffee. Number 3. Dill. Time it now for your August pickle jars. Ever wondered why grocery fresh dill costs a couple of bucks for a clamshell you use once? Short-lived, hard to ship, mostly wasted. That is why you grow it. And July is the moment. Here is the detail that changes the timing. Cucumber Wave 2 hits in late August through mid-September. That is prime pickle season. If your dill is not mature at that moment, your homemade pickles never happen. Do the math on that. 1 jar of store-bought dill pickles runs about $4. Homemade with your own dill and cucumbers costs a fraction of the store jar. 2 cultivars. Fern leaf for containers, 18 to 24 inches. All America Selections winner, slow to bolt. Long Island Mammoth for pickling volume, 3 to 6 feet. Best pickle flavor per University of Wisconsin. Skip Bouquet. That one is grown for seed. 1 planting window. Done. Direct sow only. Barely cover the seed. Space Mammoth, 12 inches apart. Fern leaf, 8. Germinates in 10 to 14 days. Succession sow every 10 days. 2 paths. Chop leaves, freeze in an ice cube tray with water, drop cubes into soup all winter. Or wait for the umbels to brown. Dry in a paper bag, sift the seed into a jar for next summer. Late August, your cucumbers are stacked on the counter. You Google homemade dill pickles. The recipe calls for fresh dill heads. You drive to the store. 3 sad sprigs, a couple of bucks. Moment gone. 0 maintenance after germination. Plant July, pickle August. Save the seed, and next year runs for free. Stay with me, because the next herb is the one apartment gardeners kill first. And the fix is one step almost every guide skips. Number 4. Chives. The cold treatment every windowsill guide skips. Chives are the herb almost every apartment gardener kills first. Not because they overwater, because they skip one step that makes indoor chives work. What every guide leaves out is that chives require a cold winter. Bring one straight from summer garden to kitchen window, and it will sulk, yellow, and quit. Frost it first, and it wakes up thinking spring is here. Chives are hardy perennials down to 40 below. That toughness is a requirement. The plant reads winter cold as its reset signal. Without it, the growth cycle stalls. Dig a clump in October and drop it on the windowsill, and the plant is stuck mid-dormancy. Leaves fade, roots slow. Frost it outside first, and the clock resets. Your warm kitchen feels like February ending, and new leaves push in 3 weeks. What that means for your kitchen is simple. Dig. Do not baby it. Let winter smack it. Then bring it in. Common onion chives are the cooking standard. Garlic chives, different flavor for Chinese cooking. Zone 3 through 10 outdoor, essentially unkillable in the ground. Here is exactly what to plant. In July, grab a nursery transplant from Home Depot or Lowe's, a few bucks. In the ground, 6 to 12 inches apart. Container, 6 to 8 inch pot. Full sun. Cut 2 inches above the soil. It regrows all season. Late October, after 2 or 3 real frosts, dig 1 clump. Pot in an 8-inch container. Cut foliage back to 2 inches. South-facing window or grow light 14 hours. New shoots push in 3 to 4 weeks. Harvestable December through March. If you ever bought a grocery chive pot in January, watched it look great for 2 weeks, then die a slow yellow death by February. That is exactly what I am talking about. It never got a real winter. I used to tell people to bring the pot inside before frost. Lost 3 clumps in 3 years. Once I started letting them freeze first, they never quit. One honest note. In Zone 9 or warmer, this cold step matters less because your outdoor chives may not go fully dormant. Dig and pot anytime November through February. Everyone else? Let it freeze first. The easiest herb to overwinter, and the one people mess up most. Give it winter first. Then let it feed you through winter. If that one cold treatment tip on chives just saved you from killing another kitchen windowsill herb this winter, hit subscribe. Same kind of detail on the next crop coming up on your July calendar. New video every day. Number 5. Thyme. The one herb where the jar beats the freezer bag. Freeze basil. Freeze cilantro. Freeze chives. Thyme is the one herb where the mason jar on your shelf outlasts the freezer bag every time. The part most people miss is why. Thyme leaves are small, tough, and packed with oil that stays locked in when the leaf dries. Big leafy herbs like basil turn to hay when dried. Thyme stays thyme. Fresh thyme is mostly water plus a dense hit of oil in tiny glands on the surface. Slow dry the leaf and the water evaporates while the oil holds. Freezing works, but thyme does not need the freezer. Dry it once. Keep the leaves whole in a mason jar, and it hits well past a year on the shelf. That one detail changes how you preserve it. Skip the ice cube tray. Hang the bundle. Drying frees your freezer space for basil and cilantro, the herbs that actually need it. 3 cultivars. English thyme, standard for roasts. German winter thyme, hardiest to Zone 4. Lemon thyme, different profile. Use fresh, not dried. Zone 4 through 9, outdoor with straw mulch. This is where you actually do it. In July, plant a 4-inch nursery transplant or a division. Space 12 inches apart. Full sun. Well-drained soil. Mediterranean origin. Do not overwater. 8 to 10-inch pot for containers. Potting mix plus perlite. Wait for a dry morning after 3 days without rain. Cut 6-inch stems, bundle, hang in a warm, dry corner 1 to 2 weeks. Or dehydrator at 125 for a couple hours. Strip and store in a glass jar out of light. You roast a chicken in February. Recipe calls for fresh thyme. That jar you opened in 2022 smells like sawdust. Homegrown dried thyme smells like a Provençal kitchen every time you open the mason jar. Once you see that, the rest makes sense. Small, tough leaves dry. Big, soft leaves freeze. 1 plant, 1 drying session, 1 jar. 12 months of stews. Number 6. Oregano. The rare herb that tastes stronger dried than fresh. Oregano is the rare culinary herb that tastes stronger dried than fresh. Every jarred oregano at the store is dried, and every fresh sprig at the farmer's market gets ignored. The nursery label hides the most important choice. Not every oregano at the nursery is real oregano. Greek is the one you want. Cuban is a completely different plant. Italian is milder, often blended with marjoram. Wrong one, and your pizza sauce tastes like nothing. Oregano is different from thyme. The oil is not just on the surface, it fills the leaf itself. Dry the stems whole, and every leaf you crush over the pan releases what would have escaped earlier. Save the crushing for when the pan is hot. Translate that to October. 1 July plant, 1 August harvest, 1 afternoon drying, and a year of oregano that beats the store aisle. Greek oregano holds up as an outdoor perennial in zones 5 through 8. Colder than that, grow it in a pot. Your next move is simple. Plant a division or 4-inch transplant, full sun, 18 inches apart. Well-drained Mediterranean soil. Do not overwater. 12-inch pot for containers. And oregano prefers snug, not big. Prune hard mid-season for more oil. Cut stems just before flowering. Peak oil. Bundle and hang 1 to 2 weeks in a warm, dry corner. Store the leaves on the stem in a glass jar out of light. Crush only what you need when the pan is hot. Every crush releases aroma, so save it for dinner. Friday pizza night. You shake a grocery jar over the sauce and smell almost nothing. Open a jar from your August harvest and the whole kitchen knows. For the money. Nothing else beats it for flavor per square foot. Dried oregano is not the compromise, it is the point. And the last herb on this list decides whether your Thanksgiving stuffing comes from your backyard or a plastic clamshell. Do not skip this one. Number 7. Sage, the 12-week head start that saves Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving morning. The stuffing recipe calls for fresh sage. You open the fridge, nothing. You drive to the store. Half the parking lot has the same idea. You pay a few bucks for a tiny clamshell of wilted leaves. Every one of those trips is preventable with one July decision. With sage, the timing is the whole game. Sage is not a fast herb. A July transplant needs 12 to 16 weeks before you can harvest hard. The leaves you cut for the turkey are the same leaves forming when you were still complaining about summer heat. Cash that out. One nursery sage transplant feeds every Thanksgiving stuffing, roast turkey, and brown butter sauce for the next 3 to 5 years. Common garden sage, standard cooking cultivar. Best flavor per NC State extension. Burr Garden has broad leaves and more mass, but NC State says the flavor is subpar. Choose Burr Garden only for ornamental or heavier drying. Zone 4 through 8, outdoor over winter. Start with a July transplant. Seed is too slow here. Space 18 to 24 inches apart. Full sun, well-drained Mediterranean soil. Do not overwater. 12-inch pot with sandy mix plus perlite. Never cut into old woody stems. They will not regrow. 2 preservation paths. Dry 1 bundle for stuffing. Cut whole stems in October before frost damages leaves. Hang 1 to 2 weeks or dehydrator at 125. Store in a glass jar out of light. Then turn the second harvest into sage butter. Blend soft butter with minced sage, roll in parchment, freeze it for winter roasts and brown butter sauce. Thanksgiving Wednesday. You look at the stuffing recipe. Fresh sage, 2 tablespoons. You walk to the back porch, cut 6 sprigs, walk back inside. Your neighbor is still sitting in traffic on Route 9. Same recipe, different day. After 3 winters comparing 4 sage cultivars, common garden sage won on flavor every time. I could hype this up, but here is the part most videos leave out. Sage hates humidity. In Florida or the Gulf Coast, plan for 2 to 3 years instead of 5. Good drainage and airflow help, but humid Gulf Coast weather will still shorten the plant's life. There is nothing worse than realizing on Thanksgiving Eve that you forgot to plant sage. There is nothing easier than fixing that on a Saturday in July. So there is your list. Slow bolt cilantro planted in July gives you 6 months of salsa. Parsley planted once, harvested for 2 years. Dill timed for your August pickle jars. Chives, frost treated before the windowsill. Thyme, dried in a mason jar for every winter stew. Oregano dried at peak concentration for pizza night. And sage waiting on the porch for Thanksgiving morning. None of this is complicated. None of it is expensive. One July afternoon, a handful of cheap seed packets and a few transplants, and your kitchen stops needing the grocery herb aisle from October to March. The math is not close. Hundreds of dollars a year, gone from your bill. Drop your zone in the comments and tell me which of these 7 you are planting first. I read every zone. It shapes what I cover next. Then think of one person you know who buys those little plastic herb clamshells from Trader Joe's every single week. The friend whose fridge always has 3 half-dead parsley packs going soft in the drawer. The one whose grocery herb bill would make you flinch. Send them this video. Do not write a message, just the link. 7 herbs, hundreds of dollars a year. One July afternoon.